My name is Karen. I'm 52 years old, and a year ago I walked away from my husband of 25 years for what I believed was a real man. Now I sit alone in a tiny apartment I can barely afford, eating by myself. My children ignore my calls, and the man I left everything for took my pride right along with him. I have no one to blame but myself. Like most bad choices, it didn't happen in a single moment. Lives don't collapse overnight. They unravel piece by piece, disguised as freedom, self-discovery, or the illusion that you deserve more. My husband, David, was steady, dependable, the type of man who showed love by making sure my car was safe to drive or double-checking the locks before bed. He wasn't spontaneous. He wasn't thrilling. And that became the excuse I clung to. After 25 years of routine, comfort started to feel like a cage. I told myself I needed passion, sparks, fire, something more. That's when Ryan entered my life. 8 years younger, confident, charming in ways David never was. He made me feel noticed again. Beautiful again. We met at a marketing conference. Before he even knew my name, he called me gorgeous and said I didn't look old enough to be married for 25 years. I should have walked away. Instead, I smiled and stayed. What began with coffee turned into texts, then secrets, and finally into the lie I told myself. Maybe this is the love I was meant for. When I told David I was leaving, he didn't shout, didn't beg. He just stood there, eyes wet, staring at me as though I'd become a stranger. He said only one thing. After all these years, you'd throw us away for a stranger? I told him yes. That I wanted to feel alive. That I needed something real. He didn't argue. He just nodded and packed a bag. The kids reacted worse. My son, Ethan, didn't speak to me for a week. My daughter, Rachel, called me selfish, said I'd destroyed her belief in marriage. I brushed it off, convincing myself they'd understand once they saw me happy. I moved in with Ryan. His place was small but stylish. He lit candles, played jazz, and told me he loved me after 2 weeks. For a short time, I felt reborn, free, desired. Until the cracks began to show. He grew irritated when I texted my kids. Said I talked about David too often. Complained about my work hours. Told me he missed me too much when I was away. At first, I mistook it for passion. Soon, I recognized it for what it really was, control. He drank more than I realized. His temper was sharp. One night, after I made a joke about his job, he hurled a glass against the wall. He didn't touch me, but that night something broke, my illusion. I realized the man I'd given up everything for wasn't strong or real. He was just different. And different doesn't always mean better. If you're still reading, type 25 in the comments, because this is where it all collapsed. 3 months in, Ryan lost his job. Suddenly I was paying for everything. The groceries, the rent, the bills. He borrowed my car constantly. Disappeared at night. When I asked where he'd been, he called me paranoid. Said I was acting like a boring old wife again. That's when I understood. He never loved me. He loved what I represented. An escape. Just as I thought I loved him. When in reality, I was trying to escape myself. The day he left, I came home to an empty apartment. No note. No call. Just silence. My car keys and laptop were gone. I reported it to the police, but deep down, I knew he was never mine. He was only a shadow of something I thought I wanted. I reached out to my kids. Ethan, can we talk? His reply cut deep. Talk to Dad. He's the one who deserves your time. I called Rachel straight to voicemail. I left a shaky message, sobbing, apologizing, rambling about how I'd made a mistake. She never called back. Finally, I dialed David. Not to beg. Not even to rebuild. Just to say I was sorry. He answered softly. I poured everything out. How wrong I'd been. How much I missed the simple things. How much I regretted it all. His voice was calm but distant. I'm glad you realized that, Karen, he said. But I don't think I can open that door again. And I understood. Because sometimes there are no second chances. Sometimes the damage itself becomes the ending. Now I live in a 1-bedroom apartment. I go to work, come home, heat up frozen dinners, and sit with the weight of what I destroyed. Not just a husband. Not just a marriage. But a family. A home. A life. I traded stability for fantasy. love for lust, depth for surface. And now all I have left is regret. So if you're listening and think the grass looks greener, remember, sometimes that grass is fake. Sometimes it's turf stretched over a trap. And by the time you realize it, the gate has already locked behind you. Water the grass you have. Treasure the love that endures. Because chasing more can leave you with nothing. Nothing but silence on the other end of the phone. If this story touched you, comment 25 below and share what you'd never risk for false love. And if you still believe in real love, the kind that stays even when it's hard, don't ever let it slip away.